combined with infiltration. So while discussing the infiltration section, we will deal with that mass curve and hyetograph. So now we will move into this content. Before that, when you are studying that precipitation chapter, you keep or just note down the main points of what is a hydrologic cycle, what are the important process, its definition, then forms of the precipitation, and related to that types of rain gauges. So small one word questions used to come from those sections that I have not included now, just only the problems I have included. So now we will move into the first section, that is optimum number of rain gauges. Optimum number of rain gauges means it indicates that if in a particular catchment area we require a particular level of accuracy. So what is the number of rain gauges required to obtain that level of accuracy? That number denotes the optimum number of rain gauges. Okay, if we need a 90% accuracy, then by applying this equation, we will find out what is the optimum number of rain gauges should be there in that area to obtain that level of accuracy. And it is given by the equation n equals CV by E the whole square. So n is representing the optimum number of stations. CV means coefficient of variation of rainfall. And it is given by equation 100 into sigma m minus 1 by p bar, and E is the allowable degree of error in estimation of the mean rainfall. So when the question or when problems come related to this optimum number, usually you will be given the values of coefficient of variation and this percentage error directly they will be given, but in some cases only you will be asked to find out what is CV. If it is a lengthy question, if they are considering a lengthy question, you may be asked even to find out what is the standard deviation, sigma and the p bar, then finally the CV and percentage error. So if you are asked to or find out that sigma or the standard deviation, the equation is sigma m minus 1 equals root of sigma 1 to m pi minus p bar the whole square by m minus 1. That is the equation of standard deviation, and the p bar means the mean average annual rainfall. It is given by the total rainfall by the number of rain gauges existing in that area. So, optimum number of rain gauges means n equals CV by E the whole square. So, now we will look into one problem related to this optimum number of rain gauges. So, this is the problem. In a catchment area, there are 6 rain gauge stations with average depth of rainfall of 90 centimeter and standard deviation 30.5 centimeter. For a 90% of accuracy in analysis, how many extra rain gauges are to be installed in that catchment? So you are given the details that in a particular catchment area already there are 6 rain gauge stations, and the p bar, that is mean average rainfall, is 90 centimeter, and the standard deviation or that CV value, coefficient of variation value, is given as sigma value is given as 30.5 centimeter, and you are asked to find out what is the extra number of rain gauges we have to add in order to obtain a 90% accuracy. So here you know the equation n is equals CV by E the whole square, and CV is given by 100 by sigma by p bar. So the percentage error they have not given. They have given the level of accuracy. So we can find out percentage error from the equation 100 minus the percentage accuracy. So that is 100 minus 90. Here in the question it is asked to find out 90% level of accuracy. So 100 minus 90 means 10% accuracy. Then you are given the values directly, the values of standard deviation and p bar is given, that is 30.5 centimeter and 90 centimeter. So substituting it in the equation of CV, that is coefficient of variation, we will obtain the value of CV. Okay, 100 into 30.5 by 90, you will be getting a value of 33.89 percentage. Okay, then while you are substituting the value for standard deviation and p bar, you should note that both are in the same units. Okay, both should be in the same units. So we obtain a value of CV as 33.89 percentage and we have the percentage error as 10 percentage. So substituting in the equation directly, we will obtain the value as 11.48. So it is not a whole number. Here you are asked to find out what is the number of rain gauges you require. So when you are obtaining such a decimal number or a fraction number, what you have to do is you have to round it off to the next higher integer value. Okay, if you obtain like 11.48 and if you're rounding it to 11 numbers means, then if you're substituting that value, you won't obtain that 90 percentage accuracy. So to obtain that 90 percentage accuracy, a little more we have to provide. So for 11.48, you can approximate it to 12 number of rain gauges. So here the question is, what is the extra number of rain gauges you are asked to add? What is the extra number? Optimum number is 12 number of rain gauges, but the question is, what is the extra number of rain gauges you have to add so that you will obtain 90 percentage level of accuracy? So already in the catchment area we have 6 rain gauges. So 6 additional 6 if you are adding means you will obtain a 12 number of rain gauges. That is optimum number of rain gauges, that level is satisfied. Is it clear? Question is clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So the same question itself, they may ask that if already in the catchment area you are given 14 number of rain gauges and the same question is repeated, and if you are asked what is the extra number of rain gauges you should add in that area to obtain a 90 percentage level of accuracy, and you are given the options +2, -2, 0 and none of the above, then what will be your answer? Same question itself, but instead of 6 number of rain gauges in that area, you are told that in that catchment you have installed 14 number of rain gauges. Then how many more rain gauges you have to install in that area to obtain a 90 percentage level of accuracy? And the options is given for you -2. Any other answer? No. So the answer is 0, not -2, because you have to not add. You are no need to add any extra rain gauges. Already the rain gauges are sufficient in that area. Okay, you require only 12 rain gauges, but already in that area we have 14 rain gauges. So no extra rain gauges is required. The question is how many extra rain gauges you have to add. So nothing is required. So that is why the answer will be 0. Clear, Gargi? Okay. Such a question can come. Okay. If we suddenly we may think that -2 or +2, but the question you have to please be careful with the question. How many extra is to be added? Okay. So can I move to the next? So the first section, that is the optimum number of rain gauges, is completed. Next, we will deal with the missing rainfall data. Okay, that we know we have installed many rain gauge stations will be there within a catchment, but sometimes some rain gauges may be not working properly, either due to the attack of animals or due to some technical error. Some rain gauges at some time period may not be working. So there will be missing rainfall data for a particular period. When we are collecting the data, those values will be missing. So to find out that missing data, we have two methods: arithmetic or the simple average method and the normal ratio method. So this arithmetic or simple average method is used when the normal annual precipitation. Normal annual precipitation means it is a precipitation data for a 30-year period, whether if it is considering on a particular date or a particular year or a particular week. The data of a 30-year period represents a normal annual precipitation. So if suppose a station, we have 4 stations A, B, C, D, and the present data or the data of a particular year is with you, and the normal precipitation data of that 4 stations is also given, but the data of one of the station is missing. The present data of that one of the station is missing. Then you have to find out that missing rainfall data. So in that case, to know which method to be applied, we should find out the variation of that data, whether it is coming within the 10% of the normal annual rainfall data or whether it is more than that rainfall, more than that variation. If it is within that variation, means we will be using the simple average, and if it is more than that variation, means we will be using the normal ratio method. So this method I will explain within a problem, so for you it will be clear. That is, the question is, the normal annual rainfall at 4 rain gauge stations installed at the catchment area A, B, C and D are 75 centimeter, 100 centimeter, 60 centimeter and 80 centimeter respectively. In a particular year, the depth of rainfall measured at rain gauges A, B and C are 60 centimeter, 70 centimeter and 90 centimeter respectively, whereas measurement on rain gauge D was missing. The rainfall depth at station D could be estimated as dash centimeter. So here you are given the normal rainfall data of 4 stations and the rainfall data of a particular year of 3 stations are given, but 1 station data is missing. And you are asked to find out what is the missing data or what is the value of missing rainfall data of that particular station. So here we have to apply either the simple average method or the normal ratio method. So here you can see that these are the normal rainfall data given for you for each station. That is A, B, C and D. 75 centimeter, 100 centimeter, 60 centimeter and 80 centimeter. And that particular year data is represented as PA, PB, PC and PD. It is 60 centimeter, 70 centimeter and 90 centimeter respectively. Then you have to find out the value of PD. So when you are given this data, you have to find out first which method to be applied, whether the simple average or the normal ratio method. For that, we have to note this the station which is missing the data, its normal data, the variation, the 10% variation of normal rainfall data of the corresponding missing station is considered. Okay, for the D station, the data is missing. So the corresponding normal data we will be taking and its 10% variation is considered. Then we will analyze whether all the remaining normal rainfall data is coming within that range of 10% variation. Okay, if it is coming within that 10% variation means we will be taking the simple average method. But if it is more means we will be taking normal ratio method. So the 10% variation of this data, that is 80 centimeter, or the data of D station, that is 90%. 10% variation we are taking, that is a 10% less, a 10% more. So percentage of ND as well as the 110% of ND. So within this range, if our values are coming means we will be taking simple average. But if it is outer or outside of that range means we will be taking the normal ratio method. So the ND value is 80 centimeter. So 90% of 80 centimeter is 72 centimeter, and 110% of 80 centimeter is 88 centimeter. Okay, so this is the range of our 10% variation. So you see that this ranges from 72 to 88. So 75 will be coming within that range, but 100 is outside of that range. 60 also is outside of that range. So we cannot take the simple average method. We have to apply the normal ratio method to obtain the missing data. So according to normal ratio method, the equation is that the missing data, that is PD. PD is what we have to find out. So the ratio of the particular year data to the normal data equals the sum of the other remaining data by the number of rain gauges, or the number of rain gauges in that area. Okay, so we have here 4 rain gauges, A, B, C and D. So PD value is missing. So PD by ND equals PA by NA plus, that is the other remaining data you have to sum up. PA by NA plus PB by NB plus PC by NC. So we know that here three rain gauge data is present. So 1 by 3. Okay. This sum by 3 will be giving the value of this PD. That is ND by 3 into PA by NA plus PB by NB plus PC by NC. Okay. So other values are there with you. Substitute it. You will be getting 80 centimeter. Okay. The answer, final answer is 80 centimeter. This is normal ratio method, and the simple average method means we will be taking when all these values are coming within that 10% variation. Simple average method is, it is very simple. That is, here you are having three data is present. So PA plus PB plus PC by 3. If you are doing it means you will be getting the PD value. So looking the condition, you have to apply which method is required. Is that question clear? Any doubt is there? Hello? കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല ആതിര?
മനസ്സിലായി മിസ്.
ഓക്കെ. So next section is the mean precipitation over an area. If we are having many number of rain gauges, how to find out the mean precipitation of that area. So for that mainly we have 3 methods: arithmetic mean method, Thiessen mean method and isohygeal method. In that, arithmetic mean method is the simplest method, but it is not accurate, or it is very least accurate, arithmetic mean method. Whereas the Thies mean method or the Thies polygon method is somewhat better, and the isohygeal method is the most accurate method. Adira, you have any doubt?
No, Miss.
Okay. So arithmetic mean method, as I told, is the simplest method. So here what we are doing means total rainfall values will be added up and it is divided by the total number of rain gauge stations. That is only the arithmetic mean method. In Thiessen mean method means it is actually a graphical method, and here the rainfall data is given weightage on the basis of the area. That is the area closest to that station. Considering that area, we are giving a weightage. On that weightage basis, we are calculating this Thies mean method or the Thies polygon method. It's actually a graphical method. And the main step is that first you will be given the catchment area will be given to you. The rain gauge coordinates or the rain gauge locations will be given to you. So when we are not for gate, such questions will be coming. But either in our exam questions, you may be asked to plot in a graph paper, and you have to do that graphical representations and finally find out the answer. So that step is you have to take a graph paper and that according to the scale, plot the catchment area, locate the rain gauge stations given to you, then join the each rain gauge station so that you will obtain a triangulated network like this. Then for each triangulated network, for each sides of that triangle, you have to draw the perpendicular bisectors, and the area which is formed by joining this perpendicular bisectors and the boundary of the rain gauges will be giving the Thiessen polygons like this. Okay. So then when you are obtaining this Thiessen polygons, either by planimeter or by doing measurements within a graph, you have to find out the value of the area and then substitute in this equation, that is P bar. If A1, A2, A3, etc. are the areas of the respective Thiessen polygons, and the P1, P2, P3, etc. is the station rainfall data, then the average rainfall P bar will be given as P1 A1 plus P2 A2 plus P3 A3 plus etc. Pn An by the total area, where Ai by A, it is called the weightage factor. That weightage factor is decided based on the area closest to that station. Okay, so this is the equation. Now we will look into a question. So a catchment area is in the shape of a pentagon as shown in the figure. See here, it is given. You have 5 stations A, B, C, D, E, F. Sorry, 6 stations is there. So rain gauges are installed at each corners. Precipitation value of 9 centimeter, 14 centimeter, 5.2 centimeter, 4.8 centimeter, and 6.8 centimeter are measured at the rain gauge stations A, B, C, D, and E respectively. One rain gauge station is kept at the center of the square area, that is station F, as shown, which has measured 6 centimeter rainfall depth. What is the mean precipitation of the area? And it can be estimated to be the dash centimeter. Okay, so you are given the rainfall data, the positions of the rain gauges, and the shape of finally what is the shape of that polygon obtained is also given to you. Now you have to find out the mean precipitation. So first you have to calculate that area or that weightage you have to calculate. Then you apply in the equation, then you will be getting the mean precipitation. So now we are moving into the question. Before that, I will show, let us you know that the pentagon means it is formed of a square plus equilateral triangle. So if you are given only a square, if the polygon asked for you to calculate that mean precipitation as a square, means consider this one and you have 4 rain gauges 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are drawing the perpendicular bisectors for each side. Then we will obtain this 4 areas for the station 1, A1, A2, A3, A4. So this will be our figure. Then the final P bar is obtained as P1 A1 plus P2 A2 plus P3 A3 plus P4 A4, and by the total area. So in this case, when it is a square, you don't need to calculate the area. We know that when it is the square is divided by using a perpendicular bisector, this each part will be the 1/4 section. So that weightage AI by A will be 1/4 if the polygon obtained as a square. So you no need to calculate the area. You can just substitute instead of A1 by this total area as 1/4. So for you the calculation will be easy. Okay. P1 into 1/4 plus P2 into 1/4 plus P3 into 1/4 plus P4 into 1/4. So the calculation will become easy if you remember this factor. That is when the Thiessen polygon given as a square, and by applying the perpendicular bisectors, when the weightage is considered, it will be 1/4. So instead of calculating the area, you can just substitute that weightage factor and easily find out the mean precipitation. Then if you are considering a equilateral triangle, okay, by drawing this perpendicular bisectors, we will be obtaining 3. That is the area 3. The total equilateral will be divided into 3 sections, so that each area will be representing, or each area will be giving a weightage of 1/3. So the equation of area for a equilateral triangle is √3/4 A square. If the side is given as A, the area is given as √3/4 A square. So this each area, the weightage will be 1/3, and the value of these each side will be 1/3 into √3/4 A square. Okay, I just general information, so that when you're doing some calculations, for you it will be easy to find out the values. Okay, so this is our figure. The question is given A, B, C, D, E and F is there. It is a pentagon and each side is of 4 kilometer, and you have to find out the mean precipitation. So here C, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So the Thiessen method, what we have to do first, we have to join all the stations. So A, F, B is joined, then C, F, E and E, D, C is already joined, then the station E, C will be joined. Okay. And we are obtaining the maximum triangles which we can obtain within a pentagon. Then next what we are doing is we are drawing the perpendicular bisectors for each side. First we will draw the perpendicular bisector for the square. So this is a perpendicular bisector for a square. The first one perpendicular bisector and the other. The 4 sides a perpendicular bisector is drawn. Then for the equilateral triangle, already one perpendicular bisector is here. The other 2 sides also we are drawing. Then here the line joining AF requires a perpendicular bisector. Similarly for BF and for EF and CF. Okay. So all this red color lines is denoting the perpendicular bisectors. Okay. So now here we have to find out which are the areas corresponding to each stations. So for A, the station A, the area considered as this one. Okay, this section is the area for the station A. For B, it will be this one. For D, it will be this one. But for E, the area in the square section as well as in the equilateral section, both will be coming together. Okay, the area which is influencing the station E will be within the square section plus within this equilateral section. So similarly for C also, and for the station F, this whole area, okay, this whole center area will be influencing the station F. Okay, so we have 6 rain gauges. So the area which we have to calculate will be also of 6 one. So here you can see that is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and A6. Okay, so the total area will be the area of the square plus the area of this equilateral triangle. Okay, so now we are going to find out the area. Okay, area of each small sections, and finally we will adding it up. So here you are given that the sides is made up of 4 kilometer. So you can split it to 2 plus 2, as this one is a square and perpendicular bisector is drawn. You can split it. So here the section, the area for the section will be, as it is a right angle triangle, you can take it as half BH. So it will be half into 2 into 2, and value will be 2 kilometer square. So this A1 and A2 is same. The area represented by both this A1 and A2 is same. So it will be 2 kilometer square. Then next is A4. Consider this A4. It is easy to calculate. You have already seen the equation for one part for equilateral triangle as 1 by 3 root 3 by 4 A square. So the A is, the side is 4 kilometer. So by applying the equation 1 by 3 root 3 by 4 into A square, we will be getting 2.309 kilometer square. Next we have to find out the area which is influencing the station E and C. Okay, so this one is the area. A small section within this square area and a section in the equilateral side. Okay, so this value is 2 kilometer square. Similar to this A1. A1 and A5 is same. Not A5. The small section of is similar to A1. And this value will be equal to that of A4. So summing up that 2 plus 2.309, the value of A5 is obtained, and A5 and A3 is same. So now we obtain the values of 5 stations. The remaining one is A6. Okay. So we know that as we have considered this one as a right angle triangle. So we have to, the hypotenuse side, that is base square plus altitude square, will be giving the hypotenuse square. So root of 2 square plus 2 square, that is root 8. We will be obtaining the side as root 8. So this is a square. Okay. The figure which we have obtained is a square. So root 8 into root 8, the area of the square is obtained, that is 8 kilometer square. So the A6 will be 8 kilometer square. So the total area for this pentagon is now obtained by us. Okay. For each station, what is the precipitation value is given to you. That is for A it is 9 centimeter, for B 14 centimeter, for C 5.2 centimeter, for D it is 4.8, and for E it is 6.8, and for F it is 6 centimeter. Now you have to substitute all these values in this equation. That is P1A1 plus P2A2 plus P3A3 plus P4A4 plus P5A5 plus P6A6 divided by the total area. So this A6, you have another method to find out the value of A6. We will be getting the total value of this big square. That is 4 into 4 16. Then we know the value of this area, that is 2 kilometers square. Such 4 parts are there. So by subtracting that 4 parts, we can get the value of the square, that is 16 minus 4 into this 2 kilometers square. Okay, so the answer will be 8. Any which is comfortable to you, you can select that method. Okay. So finally, by applying this equation, you will get the value as 6.83 centimeter. Okay, so when you're doing the Thiessen method, you have to draw the figure properly, locate the rain gauges, then create the triangulated networks, then draw the perpendicular bisectors. Then it will be convenient if you convert into a square or a triangle, that area when you are considering. So remember this, that is the points that is, if you are taking a square, it will be the weightage of area will be 1 by 4. For an equilateral triangle, it will be 1 by 3. Mostly in GATE, both this square or equilateral or the combinations of that will be asked. Not any big questions will be there for you generally. So for you, it will be easy to calculate. I hope it is clear. This is the same thing, just somewhat clear image only. So whether that problem is clear, the main time taking process is to find out the area. Is it clear? Okay. In PDF send ചെയ്യണം. Okay, send ചെയ്യാം. Okay, one additional point to that question is, if you are given that 4 rain gauges is there and it is occupying the 4 corners of a square, and in the middle of the square the 5th rain gauge is given, then how can you find out that the mean precipitation? Simple method without finding out the area, by applying this weightage section is, this is a square. By drawing the perpendicular bisectors, finally we will be obtaining in this form. Okay, so here we will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sections is there. A big square, it is divided into 8 sections. Okay, so the area will be representing, or the weightage will be 1 by 8. This small section will be 1 by 8. Okay, as this total area is divided into 8 sections, then one section will be of 1 by 8. So A1, A2, A3, A4 will be 1 by 8. But this A5 means it is formed of 4 sections of 1 by 8. So 4 into 1 by 8, that is, it will be 1 by 2. So we no need to calculate that area. If you know how to find out this weightage factor, by applying that weightage factor in the equation, we can easily find out the value of the mean precipitation. Okay, such tricky factors you just note it down. So for you it will be easy to calculate. The time, very less time only you require to do the problems. Okay, so the Thiessen-Polygon method is completed. Next is isohytal method. So this isohytal method is the most accurate method, and it is also a graphical method. Here the isoheight map of that various rainfall data, it will be plotted. Then the area which is coming in influence of those isoheight is considered, and by applying the equation we are finding out the value. So isoheight means It is the line or the imaginary line joining the points of equal rainfall depth. That is a isoheight. Okay, so a one word question for isoheight may be asked. What is isoheight? Or I dash is a line of joining of equal rainfall depth. So that is a isoheight. Here you can see when you are obtaining our isoheight map, the isoheights or the value of the isoheights will be given, and the area which is coming within this isoheightal value that will be represented. So by applying the equation, that is in the last question, that is in Thiessen mean method, a rain gauge station, it is influencing only a single area. But in this isoheightal method, see, a area is influenced by two isoheight or two rainfall depth values. So when we are taking the mean precipitation, we have to take the average of that precipitations which is influencing a particular area, then sum it up by the total area, we will be getting the mean precipitation. So for A1 area, we will be having two values of precipitation, that is P1 plus P2 by 2 into A1 plus A2 into P2 plus P3 by 2 plus etc. by the total area. Thus we will be obtaining the mean precipitation under isoheightal method. So when the problems comes for isoheightal method, you will be given the values of isoheight and the area which is influenced by the isoheight. It will be directly given to you. So for you it will be easy to find out. Then from here also AI by the total area is giving the weightage factor. Okay, that by applying that equation also you can find out the value of mean precipitation. Okay, clear? Okay, the session under this hydro precipitation chapter is this much only, the problems which are coming, and two more is there, that is mass curve and hydrograph. I will discuss it by combining it with infiltration. So for you, both infiltration and the precipitation will be easy to understand.